Hey, today I'm in the grounds of the Glenlow Abbey Hotel. Let's take a walk. Should a Scrum Master be technical? It must be difficult for new Scrum Masters to get started initially, because new employers or recruiters are always seeking people with at least 3 to 5 years experience. If new guys can't get on the ladder, then how will we fill the growing number of new positions in the future? The next issue is that employers seem unable to understand what the role of a Scrum Master is. You can see examples in recruitment adverts. You need 5 years experience as a Java programmer, or you need a degree in computer science. I'd suggest that they're trying to recruit a development manager who's willing to take on the Scrum Master role. They're failing to appreciate the value that a Scrum Master can actually bring to a development team. It'd be helpful if recruiters and employers could answer the question, what is a Scrum Master? We've mentioned previously the role of recruitment in identifying potential Agile team members. In order to facilitate that recognition, we should really identify what the role is that we're recruiting for. Let's take the Scrum Master role as an example. When I first qualified as a Scrum Master, I was preparing to take my first employment in that role. I read many opinions that you had to be technically very strong to perform the role well. I had yet to put my knowledge to the test, so at that time, these opinions caused me some trepidation. Years later, I still see the same opinion very much in place where Scrum Master roles are advertised by recruiters and companies. The opinion that used to cause me concern now causes bemusement, as experience has shown me that not only is that technical experience only a nice to have, but it can even be an impediment to the development of someone taking on a Scrum Master role. Your profession as a Scrum Master, much like the development team, is incremental and iterative. The team will have a retrospective every sprint for their incremental development, but I'd suggest that it's best practice to reflect on your own experience during the sprint as well. What was you looking to achieve or develop in the team? Did you have success? Is more time needed for that particular approach, or do you need to try a different approach? Has something emerged that you would assess as being more beneficial focus to work on with the team going forwards? This type of decision making is not unique to Agile. Let me use a sports example that lends some illustration to the difference between an Agile mindset as opposed to a managerial mindset. So for my sports analogy, I'm going to use football as an example. And these are not direct correlations, just for illustration only. But your training during the week in football, you could view as your actual sprint. Plus your Agile coaching, your team coaching and individual coaching during the week. Match day, you could view as your sprint review, where you actually display what you've been working on all of that week for your shareholders and business owners, if you like, who are the board of the club, the management of the club itself, but also your end customers, the supporters. The post-match analysis, where you review how did our training translate into match conditions, would be like your retrospective. And planning for the training the following week, and picking up your lessons learned, you could correlate to sprint planning. Okay, slightly out of that comparative analogy, consider the behaviour of the manager or coach on match day. Is it behaviour that helps the team to be self-organising and to make real-time decisions, or is it behaviour that tries to manage every decision for the team? Which approach would be better in order to observe how training translates into match day performance, to then evaluate the effectiveness of training in changing behaviours of the team and individuals for the better? Starting out as a Scrum Master is challenging. This becomes even more challenging if you've been a traditional manager, for example, a development manager, because it now requires you to think in terms of a whole new management paradigm. If the organisation is going through an Agile transformation, this could add even more challenges to the role. Can someone with a traditional management mentality become a good Scrum Master? Yes, of course. However, it would require a sea change of mentality. You can read the Scrum Guide to get a detailed description of the Scrum Master role, and in there you'll see the description of the Scrum Master being a servant leader. And I would suggest initially with teams when you're first joining, you're going to be more leader than servant, and that balance will change over time. What we need to do is achieve that separation between a manager mindset and the drive to develop self-organisation within the Scrum team. I would add something to that description of the Scrum Master, and something that I found useful over time is that if the product owner is the person who maximises value, the Scrum Master for me is the person who maximises productivity and quality in the Scrum team. You may well ask, how do we maximise productivity and quality? We'll discuss the specifics in later videos. Before we go, should a Scrum Master have a strong technical background? Make up your own mind as we delve more in depth into various aspects of Agile software development.